Hello YouTube, everybody. I'm back with another video today. Felt like making another album ranking. This will be episode 4 in worst to best albums. First we had the Meat Puppets, second we had King's X, and third we had Boston. And now today it's Dire Straits, one of my all-time huge favorite bands. Big fan of Martin Knopfler. I'm going to be ranking Dire Straits studio discography from my personal opinions of my least favorite to favorite, the worst to best, the ones I feel are the worst to best. I'm not going to count the live albums or the compilation albums or the studio albums. Or being honest, the studio albums. Yeah, I'm counting the studio albums. I'm not counting the Martin Knopfler solo albums, is what I meant to say. So this is just the Dire Straits studio albums, the 6 that they have, and this might be kind of a controversial list because some of you people might not like my rankings, but hey, my rankings is probably going to differ from your rankings. But we all have our own opinions, and we listen to music, with different ears. So, and a lot of you are probably going to hate me for what I have at the bottom, but and you can hate comment all you want. You're not going to change my opinion of these albums. I've been a fan of owning these albums for a long time. And these rankings are pretty set in stone for me. So I'm just going to go right onto the list, going from what I believe is the worst Dire Straits album to the best, the absolute best. So starting in at the bottom for me, you guys better get ready for this one. Yes, I'm holding up Brothers in Arms at the very bottom. And before you click off the video, before you click off and say, oh, I can't believe you ranked it so low. How can you, that's the best thing they've ever done. Well, let me tell you, I'll tell you what I like about this album. I really love So Far Away, Money for Nothing, Walk of Life. That's it. And those were the 3 out of the 4 hit songs. I don't like any of these other songs on the album. They just don't work for me. And I know this was their big breakthrough album. This is what everyone calls the MTV album. Because this had the videos on MTV. And I believe when this album came out, this was the very first cassette tape that was a clear tape, from what I've heard. But it's just the rest of these songs just don't do anything for me. They're either boring or I think the lyrics aren't very good. And so you're thinking, oh, what about the song Brothers in Arms? Boring. Bores me to death. I don't like the song Brothers in Arms. I love So Far Away. I love Money for Nothing. I love Walk of Life. But I think that they've done much better, guys. I really do. So that's why this is at the bottom for me. Some of you have probably already clicked off and you're not going to see where I'm ranking the rest of these albums. But number 6, that's Brothers in Arms for me. Alright. Down to number 5. I'm going to go with On Every Street, final album. There's some really good stuff on here. The title song, On Every Street, I really like. I like The Bug. Heavy Fuel is one I really like. That's a great song. I love Heavy Fuel on this. That was the one I was trying to think of. My Party is actually quite like. That's a pretty different song. Very different for Dire Straits, but it's got some funny lyrics. I really like My Parties. You and Your Friend is okay. I think this is a good album. I think it's a little bit better than Brothers in Arms. I know most, if not all of you, are going to probably want to put this at the bottom maybe, or think that Brothers in Arms is the best thing they ever put out. I just don't see it, but I quite like this one. So On Every Street, that's number 5. Alright, so number 4, I'm going to go with Communiqué. I actually reviewed this album years ago on YouTube, as my review is on my channel somewhere. This is very strong. This is the second album and the very last album they did with the original lineup. David Knopfler leaves after this. Standouts here, I love Once Upon a Time in the West. Where Do You Think You're Going? Communiqué. Lady Rider, which was the hit, is awesome. Love Lady Rider on this. Portobello Bell. Single-Handed Sailor is a classic for me. I love Single-Handed Sailor. I really love Communiqué. This is very strong. It's a bit patchy in places, I think, but I mean, the good is when they're on this album, they're really on. There's some of their best stuff is on Communiqué, so that's what I have down at number, what is that, 543? No, 654. That was 4. So number 3, I'm going to go with Dire Straits, the debut. Definitely a classic album. There's a lot of stuff on here I really like. I mean, I love, it opens with Down to the Waterline, classic. You hear that blues guitar, like that echoey blues guitar, and you think you're going to be in for a slow blues song, but it is just a straight up rocker. That one just rocks. Of course, Sultans of Swing, it's classic. I mean, it's that guitar solo at the end of Sultans of Swing where he's just fingering the string so fast. Gets me every time. I just love Sultans of Swing. That guitar solo, especially at the very end. Setting Me Up, I like. Southbound Again, I really like. In the Gallery. Wild West End, yeah, it's great record. I love Dire Straits. Love this album. Okay, I said my choices were pretty set in stone, but the top 2 were pretty hard for me because, there's really not much that separates these 2 albums. They're just really strong, great Dire Straits albums. I really love them. And any day, these 2 could probably flip-flop places. But the next one I'm going to show was the very first ever Dire Straits album I ever got. And it's what got me hooked. It's what made me a huge fan of Dire Straits and Martin Knopfler. And I'm going to put it at number 2 today, but this is what really made me want to get the whole catalog. As you see, I have all 6 of their albums, but number 2, very close second, because this is such a masterpiece album, is Making Movies. I absolutely love Tunnel of Love. I mean, that's just so perfect. It's an 8-minute song. It's just so great, lyrically, musically. I like Romeo and Juliet. That one seems to be hit or miss by some of the people, but I really like Romeo and Juliet. Skate Away is great. Solid Rock is underrated Dire Straits. So I love Solid Rock. I just love that. Espresso Love. I love Espresso Love. Really, there's not a bad song on this album. This is just a complete masterpiece. It's the 3rd album, and I'm going to rank it at number 2. Very close second. It doesn't really, not much. Like I said, this one at number 1 can flip-flop any day. And number 1, you already know what it is, but I'm going to go with Love Over Gold. Oh, God. If not for Telegraph Road alone, I mean, Telegraph Road is probably my number 1 ever favorite Dire Straits song. I just love Telegraph Road. But Private Investigations is great. Love Over Gold. It Never Rains. Industrial Disease. This is just like Making Movies, and even the self-titled. This is just a masterpiece. Killer record. I love Over Gold. And watching the video release, I used to have the VHS of Alchemy, the live tour for this, and that tape got defective because it was played so much. I bought it used, only got to watch it twice, but seeing those songs, like them playing that, touring this album, and how great they were live, I mean, it's just, that was a great period, a great document to see them in that live period, that live show at the Hammersmith Odeon when they were touring this album. But this, I'm going to have to say, is my favorite Dire Straits album, Love Over Gold. So that's my album rankings. That's Dire Straits albums worst to best. This is episode 4 of Worst to Best. And this is the 6 studio album catalog that I got here. All 6 of them. I got to have it all because I love this band. I like the early Martin Knopfler solo stuff as well. Golden Hearts, a great record, but I was here to talk about the Dire Straits albums and not Martin Knopfler's solo stuff. I'll be honest, as huge as I am of a fan of Dire Straits, I haven't heard any of Martin Knopfler's stuff since Sailing to Philadelphia. I just never got around to it because I like so many artists. I like so much stuff. I just never got around to getting, what was it, the Ragpacker's Dream or whatever, and all that stuff, Shangri-La. And he's put out, I don't even know how many albums he's put out and how many musical scores he's done, but the only album that I currently have a copy of is Golden Heart, which is amazing. And I know some people are probably going to want me to, if they liked this album ranking review, they're probably going to want me to rank Martin Knopfler's solo discography, which is going to be a long time before that happens because I'm too broke to buy CDs. But thanks for watching. I'll see you on the flip side. Appreciate the views, subscriptions. Can't wait to see your comments. Let me know how you rank the Dire Straits albums, what the Dire Straits albums mean to you, and what your order is and why. And comment, rate, subscribe, thumbs up, thumbs down, all that great stuff. Alright, that's my video. I'm going to get out of here now and finish some more cold ones, and I will see you on the flip side as usual. Thanks for watching, everybody. Good night.